So we've been using the app since we opened the business, and it took us 6 months to settle in. So I didn't start looking at it until about 6 months into the business. And what it did initially is it gave me a snapshot of, where we are with our staff. So about 50% of our staff use the app on a regular basis. And what it does is I can look in as a manager, and because I have now a year's worth of data to look at, I can start to look at trends in the care workers' happiness. And I can tell already that we're approaching summer, and my happiness, my happiness statistic is going to drop, because during the summer we have people on holiday, we're asking staff to do extra work, and I already know that we are going to see a dip in how many carers are happy in the workforce, because there is that extra pressure of work. So you can get trends from what you're actually viewing. And in the last 4 months, we've been introduced to comments. The carers have been able to write comments, which has been hugely beneficial. First of all, we've all got carers that work for us, or employees that work for us, that are very vocal, have no issue coming into the office, sharing their thoughts, sharing their feelings. But we always have a percentage of the workforce that aren't so confident in bringing things to the forefront. They don't like upsetting people. They think they're going to be in trouble. So by using the comments on the app, which is completely anonymous, my carers love that. The fact that I don't know who's making, that they can make these comments completely anonymously, because probably in previous lives they faced persecution for raising issues. So they love that factor of the app. And they leave comments for me, and I am able to read those comments. And in the weekly operation meeting, I actually go through the comments with my operational team. We celebrate wins. We have lovely comments from our care workers, but we also look at what is going wrong in the business. And the care workers are able to tell me when they're not happy, and I'm able to investigate that and look at where things have gone wrong for that week or that month, and it's discussed within the operational meeting. We also then have now developed a newsletter called The Listener, and I write that every month, and I actually am giving the stats, the happiness stats, to the carers, and I'm listing their comments, and I'm writing feedback to them. And within that document, I also look at supervisions, what comments are coming back from supervisions, what comments are coming back from our customer base, and I'm interpreting all of that into a feedback from the owner of the business to say to them, look, I am listening and I am acting on what you're telling me, and I am trying to improve your experience with the company. We have a lot of carers that use the app to talk about other carers, which is really, really nice. And it's really important that you feed back those comments to those care workers that are named. So care workers will mention other care workers and how supportive and how lovely they are. And I'm also now going to start posing a weekly question to encourage more people to use the app. So I'm going to be sending out on the Monday, using the messaging service, a question. Did you have enough travel time this week? And I want the carers to use the app to report into me where we are with travel time. And those questions will change week to week as as issues arise within our workforce. So the Nurse Buddy app has also enabled me to report to the local authority and the inspectors. When we were last inspected, I demonstrated the app and showed the inspectors how I got a very quick snapshot of how my workforce was feeling. And then I was able to demonstrate the work I was doing alongside the app, which promotes responsiveness, and the inspectors absolutely loved it. So that's just throwing that out there, that if you use this if you've got this information and you're not using it, that's going to be just as detrimental to your inspection. So I think that demonstrating that you're listening to your staff not only helps their well-being, because we don't just get comments about work, we get comments about their personal life as well and how they're feeling on that day. And it just helps me understand what may be going on within my workforce. So yesterday, for example, we know we have a handful of carers that live, very hand to mouth, and so we were researching yesterday, and we found a charity that provides free sanitary products for females. So we were sending that out to our carers yesterday. And that's another thing we do to support their well-being. We look at charities and free services that can actually benefit them. It's not all about the service users and the customer base. It's about caring for the people that work for you. I'm really passionate about looking after my people. We can get the pay right, we can get the travel time right, we can get the scheduling right, but people's well-being goes far beyond those elements. It's about establishing relationships, having an open door policy, and making that person feel like they are looked after. And I just don't think we always get that right. And that was one of the things when we opened the business that I was determined to get right. And don't get me wrong, sometimes even I suffer with compassion fatigue. It's not always easy to, as a manager, to listen to people and look and act sympathetically, but it really has gone a long way. And I think that the Nurse Buddy wellbeing app has enabled me to really understand my workforce, which has resulted in a 9.3% turnover figure for the last financial year.